You're listening to the Game Tenants Podcast.
What's up, and welcome to the Game Tenants Podcast, the failed adventures of two gamers and their quest for Gamecast stardom, aka worthlessly lazy, but so game crazy. This is episode 72, and I am Church of the Game Grinder, and as always joined by my excellent co-host,
Jason, the Corpse Flood Gaming. How is everyone doing?
What up?
Oh, not a lot. We got a lot to talk about, even though there's been kind of lacking news. But I think we got enough to fill an episode.
I mean, we could just talk about Sonic a whole bunch because
that Sonic.
Yeah, trending, man.
Well, we could do a bit of talking about that if we need to fill time. We'll just let this hard pass.
I gotta go fast away from that topic.
Well, we do have some a returning icon from the 16-bit era, but he's got a bit of a exclusivity deal, so that's kind of weird. And we got a cool, kind of unique giveaway Bethesda's doing. We're going to talk about some more movie stuff on a game podcast, but it's game related. Some bummers, but some kind of predictable bummers about recent games. Some very adult-oriented content.
What?
Yeah.
On the Game Tenants Podcast?
More like the Smut Tenants Podcast. and a couple other cool things, little updates. So, yeah.
Sounds awesome.
It's lots to talk about if we dig deep enough. And we always have no problem just talking.
Rambling.
So, speaking of talking, I gotta know how you been doing and what you've been up to.
I am fantastic as per usual. Still kind of riding my MGC hype. Putting out some videos, still working on MGC stuff, so it's still staying fresh in the brain.
I want to see it.
Like, still, and a lot of our friends are still releasing MGC videos, so that's great. You know, need a little downtime after convention.
I don't think I'll tire of it. I've been checking out everyone's that I can.
Yeah, for sure. But I did put out my MGC experience video where I just basically talked about my MGC experience. Hopefully within the next week, I will have my MGC pickup video. Do it. Look forward to that. Then I also did a Days Gone Collector's Edition unboxing for anybody who might be interested in that.
It looked pretty handsome.
It's a cool little collector's edition. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
I was a guest on the Cartridge Club Portable podcast. It's another Cartridge Club Game of the Month podcast covering portable games, handhelds, so on and so forth.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I checked it out earlier.
Talked about Thor, God of Thunder on the DS. Kind of like way forward gem.
So you're just, you have no idea about it? In other words, big on those way forward games usually.
Yeah, vaguely familiar, but, I could take them or leave them, I guess.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Mostly take them and hoard them.
Yeah. I got a few. I have a growing way forward collection, that's for sure.
Yes.
A lot of quality stuff. They got a lot of quality stuff. They got a lot of throwaway stuff. That tends to be like their earlier.
Well, you got to pay the bills. So take some license deals.
Yeah.
Fucking sellouts.
Then for gaming, haven't been playing a lot of different stuff. Like I had kind of the last couple months. Things have slowed down just a little bit as I focused on a couple games. We've been working on a lot of video stuff, had some other things going on. But I did play through the Walking Dead final season, and sorry about that. Let me turn down my phone real quick. So The Walking Dead, or Telltale's The Walking Dead, the final season. I love the series. Like I said before, I regret not keeping current, but I'm just not a fan of the episodic format. I just like to be able to play through a game.
Just put it out, damn it. Yeah.
And we've talked about it on the podcast before, the unfortunate demise of Telltale, but Skybound stepped in. That's the parent company of The Walking Dead. Robert Kirkman, his company. They were involved with the development of the series anyways, so basically they took over, finished the game. It had all been written out and everything, just needed to be a couple episodes wrapped up.
Well, really, who would you rather do it? Doesn't sound like there's more worthy people to be.
Yeah. And again, from my understanding, they hired back as many of the Walking Dead staff as they could to finish up the game, so that was pretty neat. But I will say, if you played any of The Walking Dead, or Telltale's The Walking Dead anyways, and you enjoyed it, play more. It remains consistent. I mean, every season, every side story I thought were fantastic. Of course, that first season is like cream of the crop of video game narratives for me anyways.
Oh yeah, man. I got you on that one too.
Just like compelling story, great characters, just kicks you right in the feels. And yeah, season 2, season 3, final season. Oh, so good. Ups and downs. I love it.
I got about halfway and I need to go back myself.
Yeah, I definitely recommend.
Well, I'll wait till that collector's edition you bought me shows up.
Yeah. If anybody hadn't heard, Skybound's actually doing a standalone like release of the game, well, with various collector's editions. You can get there was like a ridiculous collector's edition where everything was signed. The collector's edition itself was ridiculous. The one that comes with the statue, it's a little pricey, but it's like, I don't know. I was trying to put it somewhere on like a list, and it's really high up there. Like, I have a lot of like favorite games of all time. It's kind of ridiculous, but The Walking Dead is one of them. So, it's, sometimes I want what I want. So I'm getting that. And it would be cool to have all the games on disc. I don't have any of the games on disc.
Shame on you.
I have them all. I bought them all digitally on PC is how I always played through them before. Because I believe, I'm trying to remember why I did that anyways. But whatever. I digress. And then, like I said, Days Gone. Been playing that. I think I'm like maybe like 10 hours in, maybe 15, somewhere in that ballpark. I'm not sure. I haven't really been looking for reviews and stuff on the game. Not like I've been avoiding them. I've just really haven't seen much other talk about it. I've seen a couple other friends were playing it, and they said they were having fun.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying the game.
I mean, usually,
go ahead.
Sorry, I was saying usually you just like look up reviews before you buy something once you already got it. Who cares what anyone else thinks?
Yeah.
Later.
I pretty much hadn't seen much on it. In the unboxing video, like I said, I saw the first trailer. I was sold on the game pretty much. It's right up my alley. And I had said before it's like GTA but with zombies, but it's more like Red Dead Redemption with zombies and a motorcycle. It's basically how it plays very similar. Just has like the hordes, and the story's not like the best story in the world, but I'm enjoying it enough. It's a couple biker buddies trying to survive in this post-apocalyptic setting. So far, there's like a couple different factions, and the guy kind of discovers that his like ex-girlfriend might not be dead. He doesn't know. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it. We'll see what happens once I get a little bit further in the game, because right now it's just still kind of getting. I still feel like I'm kind of getting my bearings. Like I got the gameplay down pretty well, but now it's just like going to and from on the maps like efficiently and not crashing into things all the time.
Some games like that, it's so like it's ever changing. You never. I mean, in a game like that, it's almost kind of cool that you just always on your guard because you don't know exactly where you're going.
Yeah, and it's funny too. Is like, even when you're driving around, like there's always threats. Of course, this being the setting that it is, there's they have kind of like rogue factions. Like there's bandits and stuff like that, and sometimes they'll just have like random ambushes set up or
fucking
just some yeah, basically, or you just run into like, oh, here's a guy who's just like sniping people for the fuck of it when they go by. It's like, or and then the infected are more like they're like 28 days later infected. They're like they're not undead. They're people who became infected. They call them freakers in this, which it's kind of weird, freakers, but
isn't that like a like 60s term for like people who smoke weed and look like hippies?
Maybe that's hey, it's PSA for you. But yeah, they're like 28 days later. They're like the fast, but they look like the zombies or whatever, the infected in I Am Legend. They're just kind of like all their hair falls off and they kind of like gray skin and whatnot.
They almost look like weird androids or something.
Yeah, they're kind of like kind of like revert a little bit, become a little bit more subhuman.
Yeah,
they like twitch around and they like to yell. Sound is a big thing in the game. There's actually like hordes that come out during the nights, just like it's like procedurally generated in like certain areas, and like they can be massive, and so it can be interesting working around like some objectives. If you do an objective and just happens to be a horde of like 100 of these things going by, it could be interesting. It's fun.
So they're like a roving faction on their own almost.
Yeah, and then they're just like sporadically all over the place too, because
zombies.
Yeah, basically. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'll have more thoughts, I guess, once I finish it at this point. But enough about what I've been up to. What have you been up to?
Oh, I've actually been playing a lot of games.
A lot of games.
And getting a lot of videos out. Holy shit.
A lot of videos.
Yeah, I've been getting out 2 unboxings a week, and I also got out my MGC pickup video.
Hell yeah.
Which I did a little like premiere for. It's the first time I've ever tried to do a premiere on YouTube, and it was pretty cool time. Yeah, I definitely recommend it. It was kind of cool just like chatting with other people who were watching it at the same time, and yeah, I really liked it. So yeah, it's that was definitely a good long one though. I think it was 55 minutes almost.
Yeah, that was a hefty, but you had a hefty haul.
Yeah, I didn't really want to do 2 parts, so it was just like all in one. I didn't talk too much about the experience as a result because I already knew like I got a ton of stuff to talk up unless I'm just flashing each one and not really talking about. I mean, I talked a bit about the experience while talking about how I got it, but yeah, I don't know if I'll do an experience video. I didn't get as much like the B-roll footage like I did last year, like I would have liked to get. I had a separate phone on me that was actually just for recording and taking pictures and stuff, and I never used it.
Pretty much like everybody I talked to were like, yeah, I was going to get way more footage, and I didn't get like nothing.
Like it just seemed shorter this year. And everyone that we hung out with anyway seemed to kind of almost be like over like overstimulated. We're just like mush brained at the same time, and
basically
I had to be like, oh yeah, like a bunch of times. I'm like,
it's just super overwhelming.
Yeah, like I couldn't. My memory was shitty, which is very rare for me. It was just like I don't know.
There's like so many games. It's like
I'm like I'm talking to you, but I'm actually just thinking about I forgot to go back to that one table and look at those games in the back of my mind.
It's seriously overload.
Yeah, so it was a fun video to make. I tried to make it as quick as I could without being like I said, just flashing games and stuff like that. But I liked how that turned out. I got kind of a good schedule going to get out our backlog of our unboxings we did on Wednesdays at 5 Central. I put out a retro game treasure, and on Saturday at 5 I've been putting out a loot gaming box, and I'm trying to maybe work out one of another kind of video when I can, so stay tuned for some of that. But yeah, it feels good to be getting videos out again, especially with those backlog ones. It was kind of a bummer getting those out, especially when they're piling up and I'm just looking, I'm like, they're literally just in the way. I'm gonna end up just opening this stuff and putting it away, so it's just out of the way. So glad we got those done. And on top of that, I have beaten 15 games since the last podcast.
God damn.
Yeah, I've been hitting those arcade games on my arcade stick plug and play, my Pandora 5S. I've been hitting them pretty hard. I've been playing a lot more than 15, but I keep having to like stop and go do something or, whatever.
Yeah. The nice thing about those arcade games is a lot of them you can beat in a sitting.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I don't think I played one that was more than like an hour. So anyway, I'll like run down a list of mostly beat 'em ups and shmups, but some cool stuff. Vendetta, which is a beat 'em up, was a really cool like style of beat 'em up. Just really like crazy characters that you're fighting and stuff. It's a lot along the lines of Double Dragon or Streets of Rage, but you gotta like, it's almost like you got a bounty type thing. You go after these guys. It's pretty cool. I had a lot of fun of it. It plays a lot like Streets of Rage, I would say. It's got a lot of the, you beat up a weapon or a guy and he drops a bat, something like that. And then I played a Superman beat 'em up, just called Superman. It was pretty decent. You could pick a couple other DC characters in there, Shazam and all those guys. And then I played a kind of disappointing one. Next was Batman, after the 1989 movie with Jack Nicholson Joker. It followed the movie real well, like the settings. You would go to that, Ace Chemicals and all that, and there'd be like pictures at the end of every level, and they'd have like a voice clip. I thought that was a cool touch, but the actual like gameplay itself was pretty shitty. It's just side scrolling, and Batman goes down like a chump, kind of like the Batman Begins game, where you can't stealth in this game, but he goes down as easy as Batman Begins, where you're mainly supposed to stealth. And if they shoot you, you go down in like a couple shots. So it was pretty mad, but it was also pretty short, so it wasn't anything too bad. After that, again, I was playing with the girls, and the first thing they always want to play is this Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon game.
Oh, yeah.
We've probably played through it they've played through it probably 3 or 4 times.
Awesome.
This was my first time getting to play a significant amount of it with them, and we would just kind of trade off. So,
sure.
So it was good to beat them up. It was fun.
It's straight up.
Yeah. Ain't bad. Then I beat the first Metal Slug. If you don't know what Metal Slug is, you're severely missing out. So yeah, it was fun. I'm pretty sure most of them are on there, but I've got the Metal Slug Anthology, so I didn't really dabble too much in those, because if I wanted to play that, I'll probably play the PS2 game, because I bought it for a reason. And then I beat, in one sitting, I sat and played through all 3 Aero Fighters games, otherwise known as like the Sonic Wings. And they're pretty cool. It's basically one of those things where it gets you to play through it twice. Because it's got like random bosses. Like there's like 2 bosses for every level, so you beat it.
That's pretty cool.
And then it's basically like, you'll be on like level 10, and then they'll be like, all right, you did it, way to go. All of a sudden they'll be like, oh, got to go through it again, and the next level you play is level 11. You're like, yeah, this is level 1 again. And I just kind of dicked around playing the first one. I was like, I'm having fun. It's just like in the arcades, they would be like, well, we don't want to rip you off your quarter, play till you die kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to the end of the first level again. I was like, oh, this isn't the guy I fought. So then, basically the way to get the real ending is to play through the whole thing twice and get the 2 random bosses. So yeah, it was those were actually kind of longer playthroughs as far as arcade games go, but they were fun. Next one was a kind of weird one. It's a light gun game, but I'm playing it with a stick, so it made it a little bit more challenging. But it was a lot along the lines of like House of the Dead, and that was called a Zombie Raid. It was kind of like a precursor to House of the Dead. The zombies will pop up, shoot them all, that kind of deal. It was pretty cool, but then it was got like a real dick punch ending to it, where you like beat the last boss. He's like, you didn't really beat me. And he goes to this doorway, and you just fall through a trapdoor onto some spikes and die. And it's like, oh, the end. You're like, huh? It's like, if you want to truly beat me, you got to get these 3 hidden crystals throughout the game. I was like, oh, cool. Things that were never mentioned until I'd gotten to the end. I was like, well, I'm glad I didn't put money into this, because I would have been just mad. Like, cool, $15, and I didn't even.
Yeah, right.
So I didn't go back through that. I did look up where the things were, so I can go through it again and maybe at some point. But yeah, playing a game like that was just killer on the arm, because like one button is to shoot, one's to reload, so I was just constantly mashing 2 buttons. But using the stick is very not. It's not the best way to play it. So I'm constantly just like moving it around, and sometimes you lose the cursor because there's so much stuff going on screen. So it was not the ideal way to play it. But I thought it was pretty cool anyway. But yeah, I definitely wish there was like a place to plug in a light gun on this thing. It would be even cooler. Then I played this other game. It was kind of like an isometric game. It was really short levels with like quarter munching bosses. It's called Wizard Fire. Kind of reminded me of like a gauntlet type game. It was okay, nothing special. Then I played Sunset Riders.
Oh yeah, that's classic.
Everyone knows Sunset Riders. It's a lot like basically it's like Wild West Contra basically. And then we followed that up. I actually started playing it by myself, but Araya was playing outside, and she came in and she's like, "Oh, what are you playing? Can I play?" And I was like, "Yeah." So she sat down beside me pretty much like after the second level or halfway through the second level, and we played the rest of that. And then I went on to another game right after that, and she played with me. And it was called Wild West Cowboys of Moo Mesa. Do you remember the cartoon show at all?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, basically around the time where all these shows were trying to like cash in on the weird animal hybrids, like Street Sharks and Ninja Turtles and all that kind of crap.
Mike from Mars.
Yeah, Mike from Mars. Yeah, where it was like they were cowboys, but they were literally cows.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was basically a Sunset Riders ripoff, just not as good.
Yeah,
it had some cooler ideas. There was like sub bosses and stuff, and the sprite work was really nice on it. But yeah, some parts kind of played like ass. So it was it was definitely a ripoff. And then I actually made a post about beating a bunch of the a bunch of these games, and our friend William Graham, the Gorilla Gamer, was like, I don't know if Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Tower of Doom is on there, but you got to play that next. And I was like, I don't know, I'll check. And there's like 1,299 games to look through, so it was under a kind of a weird name, so it took me a bit to find it, but I played through that, and it was one of the cooler beat 'em ups I've played. Actually, it had like kind of a choice system, not just like which way you go, but it would be like, oh, this caravan was attacked. Do you want to go help them, or do you want to say screw those guys and go to the saloon or the tavern? I'm like, yeah, screw those guys.
Actually, I think there's another one too.
Chronicles of Mystara.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's I think that's the second one actually.
Yeah, they're both supposed to be awesome. And you can actually buy, I think there's a region or like PS3 version you can import that has both games on it, I think.
Oh, both on it. Okay. I knew Chronicles of Mystara was on something. I think it was even on the newer systems, like the current gens. But yeah, I was definitely, well, I wasn't really surprised because I think I played Chronicles of Mystara before, so that was cool. But yeah, I don't think I played Tower of Doom. But yeah, definitely, if you haven't played that one, that's one of the standout ones from this whole thing. After that, I played Warriors of Fate, which was a kind of like
it's not a beat 'em up bundle.
Yeah, it's another beat 'em up, and it's like, I don't know, it's like feudal Japan type, ancient. So I don't know what region it's from, but it's like an ancient Asian game. We fight like samurais and dudes on horseback with big spears and stuff. It was cool. It was a lot of fun. After that, I played the original Raiden, classic shmup game. Yeah, that was probably one of the funner ones I played. And I don't actually have it on my list here. I guess I beat 16 games because I played APB after I watched I actually watched back in the day gamers MGC video, and he kind of mentioned picking up I think it was an Xbox game, one of the compilation games that had APB on it, and I was like, that's funny because I just played that like a couple hours before that. So I was like, oh, that's good timing. And besides that, I beat the Punisher arcade game, which is super fun. And that's it. Sorry, pretty long-winded. I just tried to give like a little description on what each game was. But yeah, most of those games are pretty badass. Really, if I wasn't having that much fun on any of them, I would have stopped playing them. So I can't really call any of them crappy. Wizard Fire was probably like the weakest one of those, and Batman. But I can't not beat Batman when I'm in the middle of it.
Yeah, I've heard of a lot of those. Just haven't had the access to them.
I got to bring this to your house next time I come visit. We could just knock out like 40 games in a weekend or something.
Yeah, let's do it.
I can't recommend one of these things enough. I mean, I know I don't have the most current one or anything, but I absolutely am in love with this thing, and it's just so easy to bring around. Like I bring it up in the dining room and I just set it up on the table and the kids and I play it and stuff. It's so fun. It's easy to pack away too. It's just one thing I can slide it beside the couch in the game room and it's out of the way. Love it. Besides that, all I've been doing besides the arcade games is playing some more Trails of Cold Steel. About 12 hours into it. I'm still not super into the story, but the gameplay is still holding me up. So good stuff. And
cool.
Besides that, wrecked my vehicle.
Yeah.
So, 10 grand of damage out of pocket there, but I don't really want to talk about that.
Oops.
That ain't games.
Oopsies.
Yeah. But
okay. So
speaking of games, I want to talk about the retro game highlight. What you got for us?
Yeah. So last time you talked about New Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah, I did.
And this time I thought this will kind of lead into our first news topic, but one of my favorite Super Nintendo games is actually one of the first games that I made sure to get complete in box once I started collecting, and that is Earthworm Jim.
Ooh, good choice.
Yeah, this game is a ton of fun. It is just like a side-scrolling platformer game. Has a good bit of humor infused into it, and it's kind of like a big parody satire of
everything.
Everything, yeah, of mascots, of platformers, of what it is to be a video game.
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, super inventive. It seems like it doesn't get as much attention. Like I rarely hear it mentioned anymore.
Which is a real shame.
Yeah, when people are talking about I don't know, I would consider it it's all like the top tier games always get all the attention, and it's like, I mean, personally I'd put it up there too, but it's almost like like second tier games, and like those always get ignored.
Yeah,
it's like, oh man.
Yeah, but at least the Sega Genesis Classic is or whatever they fucking call it is got the first Earthworm Jim on it. Sega's got that love for it, I suppose.
Noise. Yep. And there was a sequel, Earthworm Jim 2, and there's Earthworm Jim 3D on the 64. Right?
I do not own it, but yes.
Yeah. I don't own it either, unfortunately. I've never played it.
I think it kind of doomed the series, kind of the same way that Bubsy 3D.
Yeah.
And as bad as it was, it doesn't seem to have like left a sour taste in people's mouths. I still remember like 1 and 2.
I think just nobody played it.
Everyone who's played it has just said it's ass. Like I've played it, and I know it sucks, but I still want it for the collection.
Yeah, same here.
And for my love of Earthworm Jim, like I even love the cartoon series. Did you ever watch?
Yeah, I watched the fuck out of the cartoon series. That it was stupid, but then again, like
the same guy did Homer Simpson does the voice of Earthworm Jim on that show.
I'm not sure if I knew that.
Little fun trivia. Yeah, I actually I think I bought it at Walmart. They just randomly had it there for like 10, 15 bucks.
Man, I would love to have the
series. And
collection.
The kids were just almost too hooked on it that I kind of just like hid it after a while because they were watching it like so much. Like, what do you want to watch? Earthworm Jim. It was like, oh my god, we've watched the whole series like 6 times in the last week. Oh, yeah.
Cool.
So it's one of those things I think I need to take out again because I don't think the boys have seen it, but the girls are just like into it. It's kind of funny how that works out, that the girls' first experiences with stuff from video games is like the cartoon shows, like Mega Man and Earthworm Jim. Like, and I had to be like, instead of being like, the game's awesome, oh, there's a show. They were like, I'm like, hey, there's pretty cool video games based on these.
What?
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I definitely fully enable this this pick for the game highlight. My first play through of those games was on the Genesis, but there's not much difference between the two.
Yeah, same. I think a friend had rented it on the Genesis, and I used to go to his house and play Genesis, and he'd come over to my place, and and then it was sometime later when I was able to rent it myself.
Oh yeah, like I never owned the first one, but I've had the second one like since back in the day. I mean, I think I own both of them on both systems now. But yeah, it's definitely a game that a series that needs to make a Mega Man like comeback. Like I'm really looking forward to it. So let's hope at some point that series makes a comeback.
Yes. Well, kind of sounds like it is.
What?
To mixed reactions. So some time ago on this very podcast, we talked about a upcoming game console called the Intellivision Amico that is created and led by various people, but mainly Tommy Tallarico, big games composer. He's done lots of things. But they just announced today, actually, right? It was today? Yeah, it's today. That there's going to be a new Earthworm Jim game exclusively on the Intellivision Amico.
Ass!
Now, we don't know if that's,
no Super Nintendo port, no buy.
Yeah, right. There's a lot of people that are like, oh, I'm not going to buy a system for one game. Well, I would hope you wouldn't buy a system for one game, and of course we'll get a lot more game announcements and stuff. Like, it is kind of a bummer that, like, I mean, we haven't even seen anything, so we don't know nothing. So all we know.
I hope this isn't just them putting their best foot forward and that's it. Like, I hope there's a solid lineup. I mean, that's what sells me any system. I don't care if I've never heard of it before. If I know there's a bunch of games I want for it, eventually I'm going to get it.
Yeah, so, and still for me, kind of like one of the biggest, I guess, kind of detractors is it's a digital only console.
Yeah.
But who knows what will happen I could. I'm hard. It's hard to see Earthworm Jim being.
I'm hard too. I'm just excited for a new.
It's hard to say that or see it being just on this like kind of experimental console. When it gets released, it's not going to be widely adopted, so it's a big risk there. And that's why I kind of wonder if eventually if it's going to be released on other things down the road, which I wouldn't be terribly surprised. But
especially if it's digital, it'd probably be easier. But I mean,
yeah,
I'd like to see this thing be cool. I'm not wishing poorly upon it.
Yep.
But I'm just saying, I hope this isn't like the one killer app. I'm hoping they come out with some more cool shit. Maybe it'll just be like the underdog, underappreciated, given up on series console. Like they all get new,
yeah, maybe
they all get a new game. It'll be new Comics Zone 2 or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I've seen a lot of people get pretty upset about this game, a beloved childhood game, the sequel being on a system that nobody has. And it's like, I commiserate with you, but...
Yeah, I mean, I would love if it was just on PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch, but I'm just happy that they're doing it again, honestly.
Yeah, I'm glad to see Earthworm Jim coming back, and I hope the game is awesome and hilarious. Like, kind of the sky's the limit with what you can do with Earthworm Jim. I mean,
people being mad, like, well, you weren't talking about it 5 minutes ago.
Yeah,
and it's been years since anyone's even gave a shit about even trying to get this going. So it's not like no one had their chance to scoop it up. So would you rather have something or nothing?
Right.
Like the last time anything was even done with Earthworm Jim, like Xbox Arcade got an HD version of it. I don't know if it came out on PS3 too, but I remember thinking that was cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd rather something than nothing. And if it's an exclusive, more power to them. I hope it helps sales of the console and it doesn't become just another Ouya or some shit.
Right.
I'd like to see another cool console coming, especially if digital only sucks, but digital only is better than nothing at all.
True that. But yes, speaking on consoles, I think you had some console news.
Yeah, it's also kind of weird. So next month we got, or I guess this month, it's May 1st today. Recording, we got Rage 2 coming out, and Bethesda's having a giveaway contest for a Sega Dreamcast that is able to play Rage 2. And that made me go, what? Basically, it's just a gutted black Dreamcast with the Anarchy logo on it, which is right in tune with the whole thing around Rage 2, and it's got a mini PC built in that's capable of playing it, which I think is super cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So if you want to get in on the giveaway, they're doing a giveaway on Twitter under the Rage 2 page there, and
awesome.
I retweeted it. I'd like to win that. Just seems
Can't win if you don't play.
Yeah, so I played. I've got pretty good chances too. I think there's only about like 16,000 other people who have done the same thing, but what if
it's not a million?
Yeah. Why'd I even announce it on here? And I just fucked up my chances.
Like saying I have a chance.
Now, if I don't win, it's my own fault.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that I just thought it was a cool little thing I saw, and you hadn't heard of it, so
yeah,
I thought I'd get the word out there. It's
that's kind of cool.
It's good to see Dreamcast in the news again, especially playing current gen games. I guess it would be able to play every Dreamcast game then too, if it's a mini PC in there.
True that. Yeah.
So again, get some Get some Dreamcast ROMs on there, and I'll have all the Dreamcast and Rage 2.
There you go.
Sweet.
Every gamer's dream.
Well, some other kind of sort of out of nowhere news. I heard a little bit about it, but video game movie type stuff. You hear something about it, then you hear nothing for 3 years, and then you hear another snippet. Well, apparently there's a Saints Row movie in production, and they're getting the guy who directed Straight Outta Compton and one of the Fast and the Furious movies. I think it was Fate of the Five. I don't know. I don't give a shit about Fast and the Furious. But it going with the theme of Saints Row, it sounds like that guy would be the kind of guy that you'd want to direct a Saints Row movie. So here's hoping get a good cheesy funny gangster movie out of it. I don't know how to translate to a movie. Have you ever played any of the Saints Row games?
I haven't.
What's wrong with you, man? I mean, I don't blame you for not playing the first one. The first one was like a very just budget GTA wannabe, but once the second game came out, I think it really like evolved into its own thing.
I know the third was like the big one.
Yeah, they got sillier and sillier and more over the top towards the fourth one. But I've really enjoyed the series. Aside from the first one, I rented the first one. It was I think it was one of the first games I ever rented on the 360 when I got it. And I think I played it for an hour and then just let it sit there the rest of the week until I had to go back. Maybe a little bit longer because a friend and I like picked it out and we played it until he went home, but he didn't have line to hang out. So I was kind of like, let's go with the other little handful of games I got. And just said, screw it. But yeah, after I actually never even gave a shit about any of the other games till the third one was out. And my buddy was like, dude, you haven't played the other ones? I was like, I played the first one. And he's like, yeah, but that's like playing Assassin's Creed 1 and judging the series on it. And I was like, oh, really? Because I played Assassin's Creed 1. I thought that sucked out. He's like, yeah, definitely play 2 on both of those. I was like, all right. And it definitely going the wacky, silly way with a spin on it. Definitely made it its own thing, and it got a lot cooler. I'd definitely recommend checking out one of those one of these days.
Cool.
That's all I got to say about that. I just thought it was kind of an odd choice for a video game movie, but I'm hopeful it could be a pretty funny movie. And now to some sad news about a game we basically expect sad news from at this point.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. This looks like BioWare has put Anthem's roadmap of planned stuff that was going to be implemented into the game kind of on like indefinite hold for an unknown amount of time. And we can only assume that's due to all the problems surrounding it at launch and onward and pre-launch.
Yeah.
That it's a real bummer because, as you and I have said before on here, we were both really looking forward to like checking it out at some point. I was kind of wanting to check it out less and less, honestly, but at some point I still intended to give it a go because I'm a big BioWare fan. And I don't think you've played any BioWare games, have you?
No, I've never once. I love BioWare. I still want to play Anthem. I haven't had the time for it.
Yeah.
Even with this news announced, I still want to play Anthem. You see it for myself, but it's not. It's not the BioWare we knew.
Yeah, it's all these big papa companies that are buying these awesome studios and
EA, fucking EA.
Yeah.
EA doing EA shit.
Yeah, EA gonna EA.
Like, does EA want to make lots of money? EA, make a good fucking game. You make a lot of money.
They make really dumb decisions for people who seem to like money.
Yeah, I just don't understand it.
It's they want the money now though. They don't want the money like they want to strangle the money out of it right away. They don't want
shareholders are a bunch of fucking morons is what their shareholders are. And they don't know what they want.
They want They don't want to let a game be good immediately and then build a fan base, which is a customer base as well, and make another beloved franchise. They'd rather chokehold the money out of it right from the get-go and basically shoot themselves in the foot.
Yep.
Like they didn't learn from Star Wars Battlefront 2 or other previous huge slip-ups on their part.
EA never learns.
Yeah, they don't.
Learn.
The letters EA might be in the word learn, but they have no meaning to them.
Nice.
Yeah, I know how to read.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a bit of a bummer.
Yeah.
Good news.
Yeah. So how about some good news and something that's definitely not a bummer? How about
and not safe for work? So put the kids to bed.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah. So for anybody interested, the most funded adult game ever has successfully been funded on Kickstarter. Funny enough, about, I don't know, 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, I actually came across the Kickstarter, checked it out, thought it looked pretty interesting, and funded it myself. So it's pretty neat to see it be as successful as it was. So basically this game is called Subverse. It is a sci-fi RPG shoot 'em up visual novel mashup. Kind of like,
isn't it a tactical RPG thing?
Yeah,
Mass Effect.
So basically, like what their kind of premise was is they wanted to make a good adult game, like have all that fan service, have some. There's probably going to be nudity. There's probably going to be some sexual situations, but they wanted the game and the gameplay to actually be fun and not be
solid.
Usually a lot of these games would have like vapid gameplay or they're just visual novels, and there's not much to that. So this has various elements. They got kind of like tactical space fighting with like ships, and then there's XCOM kind of like battle with like characters, and then there's visual novel elements.
But is there titties? Titties?
What's that?
What titties?
There's plenty.
Titties.
A lot of
you can talk to people, but then also titties.
Yeah. So it's kind of funny. So hugely successful. It raised over $2 million. The initial goal was, actually, I don't remember what the initial goal was.
Wasn't it like a really low amount, like for a game, like
it was like 100,000 or 200,000 or something.
Yeah, under that, I think. I don't even think it was 100,000. I think it was like 72,000 or some shit.
But so tons of stretch goals have been hit. There's going to be like 10 more waifus in the game. There's a bunch of like tons of animations going to be added.
Inches and inches of gameplay.
Yeah. just bursting. But I don't know. I lost it. But yeah, pretty neat. The game actually does look kind of interesting. I mean, of course, the main lure to me was like, please give me a quality made adult game, because they practically don't exist.
Yeah, we definitely need kinky Mass Effect in our lives.
And it looks like there's a lot of like kind of like tongue-in-cheek humor involved with it. So
maybe it's some other thing in cheek humor.
Indeed.
Yeah. That sounds a lot cooler than the adult game I stumbled upon on the old arcade stick earlier.
Yeah.
I was like, what's this game? Excelsior. And I was like, that's all I saw was the name. And I was like, for Stanley, I've gotta. And I played it, and it's this like little guy with like a jetpack on, and one button is to shoot. So he shoots all these enemies. And then there's just this giant rock in the middle of the screen. And he basically has like this little jackhammer, and he just chisels away, and then there's a percentage that goes up, and it's basically you're just uncovering this this naked woman photo, and then when you get to like 81%, you win, and you get to see the whole photo. And I was like, wow, are you serious?
Yeah.
I was like, no wonder Stanley always said Excelsior with such vigor. He's so excited.
Yeah, this game does look like it's going to be a lot better than that.
Yeah, it sounds definitely
graphics are very kind of like what's been kind of become known as like source filmmaker kind of style, like, you know, CG kind of stylized a little bit. But it'll be interesting. I'm actually surprised. I don't know Kickstarter's rules on adult related things. Like this isn't like just a straight up like porno game. Like,
yeah,
it's, you know,
oh, you lost me.
but the fact that it does have, like, I mean, it advertises. It doesn't like show anything in the Kickstarter, but it advertises that there's going to be, like I said, sexual encounters and nudity and stuff like that. But I wasn't sure, like, if this was going to get like canceled or something. Like, I know there was, for a short time, like there was a bunch of people that were like, "Oh, what the heck? Why is this allowed on Kickstarter?" And
well, I can't
triggered social politics kind of stuff.
No hate. Yeah. I just can't wait till I can get it for my Switch and then get leered at in public for playing it.
Yes. Because you want to get the Switch version, because apparently Nintendo's doing less censorship than Sony's doing now.
Yikes.
What the hell bizarro world do we live in?
I don't know, man.
But with that, another, for me anyways, exciting Kickstarter news is another game that I backed a while ago. The digital version just got released, and that is for a game called Micro Mages. And essentially what this game was originally made as is this is an 8-bit game that was planned to be released on the NES. Not originally planned, but for this Kickstarter project. And it's basically like a tower climb game where the screen's kind of constantly moving up and you're trying to get through obstacles and enemies and get to the top.
Sweet.
And one of the big lures of it was that it was going to be co-op as well, up to 4 players.
Oh man, that sounds even cooler than Spider-Man on Atari.
Yeah. It has like really cool 8-bit style. And like I said, part of the allure of the Kickstarter was that I will be getting a complete in-box NES game for this. But they just released the digital version, which is now available on Steam. I'm not sure if it's on other platforms. I think it might just be Steam for now. But I would definitely recommend checking that out. And I cannot wait to get the NES cart. And I don't know, I might even bust out my Steam link and try to get some like co-op going with some friends. Yeah.
Neat.
Yeah. And then one other little update to something that we talked about previously. We talked about the Valve Index, which is Valve, the company, the same company that made Steam, Half-Life, Portal. Valve. They're making their own VR headset. They accidentally leaked some information a while ago.
Accidentally.
Yeah, right. And now they are up for pre-order. And they will be shipping June 28th. So that's pretty cool. The system itself sounds really awesome. It's a big step up compared to like what we're kind of used to with a lot of VR headsets. The resolution is going to be comparable to the Vive Pro, which is 1440 by 1600, and a lot of the other systems are like 1440 by 1080. This will have an increased refresh rate, which I think is pretty significant. And I'm going to kind of keep comparing this to the Vive Pro because that's like the best VR system out right now, where that has a 90 hertz refresh rate. This will have 120 refresh rate with an experimental 1440 refresh rate, which is pretty awesome. Then, of course, I think we talked about it before, that the grip controllers actually have tracking for your fingers. So Then like the headset's going to have other like quality of life things, better field of vision. It has faster. I forgot they had a word for it. Like when you turn your head in VR, there's less like ghosting. It like it's way smoother.
No motion blur and stuff.
Yeah, it's just a sick looking VR system. But the catch is it's crazy expensive. If you want the VR headset with the 2 motion controllers and 2 sensors, $1,000. Ooh, lordy.
Where's the expensive part?
What's that?
Where's the expensive part?
$1,000 is expensive.
But it's the best.
Yeah. Well, and prices will go down. And also, if you are a person who already has a Vive, there's some like cross compatibility with the hardware. Like you can use this headset with the Vive controllers and the sensors, or vice versa.
Nope.
So I mean, you can get it all the way down to like $500 just for the headset, or if you need everything,
Fuck that! I'm going Labo.
Yeah, that's the way to go. It sounds like get yourself some cardboard. And has anybody just tried to like make their own Labo VR set like without even buying it?
I don't know.
You can just like download the game and make.
I'm sure it's hard to buy the game, but I'm sure like for like whatever the price, I guess I'm pretty sure it's like $80 or $100. I'm sure like 90% of the cost is just the game.
$90 game.
So I'd have to buy the $90.
Just garbage little tech demo.
Yeah. Well, I guess I could just play the Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey things as they're free updates. So
you gotta like lay on your back and just set it on your face because you have to hold it the whole time.
Yeah, I'll just have.
I heard John Riggs actually did. He did a little review on it, and he says like it's basically what you'd expect. He's like, it's not very impressive. He's like, it's kind of neat, but
the Zelda one sucked, didn't he?
Yeah, he's like, it's like terrible to play because you have to hold it up to your face the whole time, and it's not like they actually changed the game. It just gives you.
You can see it closer now.
Yeah, essentially, it's just takes up most of your vision.
You basically just get one of those little like tables they put in the middle of a pizza box to keep the pizza from getting crushed. Lay it on your back, stick that on your nose, and then just lay the fucking Switch right on your face.
There you go.
Boom! Just save you $80.
Duct tape.
Yeah, tape it right to your hair.
Yeah, something. But yeah, so I don't know. I've seen a lot of people freaking out about the price of the Valve Index. It's it's understandable. I mean, the Vive Pro is $700. So, and this is bleeding edge hardware. Give it some time. The price will reduce, especially as they reduce like production costs and
but
things like that.
With the Vive, is that with all the bells and whistles too, though? Like with all the,
I believe that is with the sensors and the controllers.
Well, then, damn! Why the hell pay $300 more?
Better hardware and better tracking.
$300 better though. That's my consumerist question.
Yeah, I would definitely say yeah. It's probably. I mean, if you're going to that price point anyways, you might as well go the extra and get more.
You can just see me buying it going, "It's better be some Ready Player One bullshit." In the store, putting it on my face, going, "You better hope it is."
Yeah. Slam it on the floor. Nope. Not interested. Not buying it, and then you run.
Then I run and realize it does have one cord in the back, and just clothesline myself while running.
Yeah, right.
Yoink!
So I think with that, then let's move into our community question segment here. So last time the question was anybody looking forward to Days Gone, Mortal Kombat 11, or World War Z? And apparently nobody was, except me.
Nobody cared.
Back in the day, Gamer said he was looking forward to Mike Tyson's Punch-Out 2 prison fight.
Sweet.
Like, yeah, sure, why not?
That was due out in like 92 though, wasn't it? When he got arrested?
Yeah. It's a little outdated at this point. I don't know if it'd be super popular with kids.
Oh, I'm sure it would. Especially if you had him being the announcer.
No,
announcing his own fights, it would just be like just a meme gold mine.
Yeah. Have you seen oh fuck, I can't remember the name of the show, but he's on a show on like Adult Swim. It's basically like Scooby-Doo.
Oh yeah, the Mike Tyson Mysteries.
Yeah.
It's on Netflix too. Maybe not in the States, but it's on Netflix in Canada at least.
Okay, I haven't seen it. I know my brother liked it quite a bit.
Oh yeah, it was pretty funny. They got Norm Macdonald is a voice of like a seagull that hangs out with him.
Yeah.
There's I think there's a gay ghost that hangs out with him. Just this girl, like it's like his daughter, his adopted daughter or something.
Okay.
It's been a while. I watched like the first season and then a couple episodes of the second one. I haven't watched it all, but it was pretty funny.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So question for next week.
Yeah. Well, when I was playing all these shoot 'em up games, I know that I've definitely got a preference when it comes to them between side-scrolling R-Type, Life Force, Gradius style, or vertical R-Type, or not R-Type, Raiden, APB type games, and I definitely prefer the vertical scrollers. But I want to know, what do you guys prefer?
Yeah, and there's some others out there too, like Einhander, Ostabreed. They kind of do like the 3D, the like angled, and some games switch between both even.
Yeah. So and there's the games like Mora, where it's kind of like it'll do one way and then it'll switch ways in between. Yeah. Well, I want to know what your preference is. Vertical, horizontal, or one of those combination games. And I'd like to, cite some references if there's some ones I should check out.
Yeah, totally. So let us know.
I spoiled my answer. Oops. Sorry about that. But yeah.
Good.
I guess mentioning the games that I'd played, it was probably pretty obvious anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Cool. So
we had a question ready to go this week, though.
Yeah, right. So then let's quickly look at the games coming out in the next couple weeks. Looks like things are sort of light
a little bit
for the next little while, but there's a few releases anyways that are jumping out to me. First one being A Plague Tale: Innocence, which is a game that I believe I've talked about before. It kind of looks like a stealth game in sort of like early industrial Europe during like the Black Plague, and you're trying to do stuff, get around, and there's like plague like rat infestations all over the place, and like light is a big element. I don't really know much about it.
Didn't we talk about it on cool games that were coming up? I think a little while back, didn't we?
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah. Also, one just came out. That SteamWorld Quest.
Oh yeah.
End of Gilgamesh. It looks really cool. I got the other. It's like two games in one for the Wii U of the SteamWorld Dig, and or I think it's 1 and 2. I don't remember.
Yeah, I've heard good things about those.
Pretty cool. Smash JT raves about them quite a lot, but
yeah, Easy Allies were talking about them too quite a bit.
Sweet.
Yeah. Then of course you'd mentioned Rage 2. That comes out on the 14th.
Hells yeah.
I probably won't be getting it at release. Like, I still really feel like I should go back and play the first one because I never finished it. Like, I played it for a few hours and kind of got bored at the time, and I don't know if it's anything on the game. It seemed around that period like there was a few other games that I just at that time I just wasn't getting into a few games.
I was right into it. It took a bit to really get into it, but my friend bought it for me, and I got because it was a 2-disc game on. I'm not sure if it was on PS3 also, but on the 360 it was a 2-disc, and I beat the first disc. I got into the second disc like maybe an hour or so, and then I stopped playing. So I don't think I've got too much more to go to get through it. But yeah, that's one thing we both kind of said. Like, I'm not getting it if I don't play through the end of the first one.
I will say it does look like a lot of fun. Rage 2.
I did have. Oh yeah, it looks amazing. It did have. Both of us basically pre-ordered the special edition right after they announced it at E3 last year. But with my $10,000 car damage, I basically ousted that right away. So I won't be getting the collector's edition.
I actually
even if I don't beat Rage 1 or do beat Rage 1, I won't be getting it right away. It looks off the wall. Just the way the kills kind of take place, it reminds me a lot of like just the high octane action of Bulletstorm when you get a good combo going. So that was right up my alley. I love that game. Yeah. Another big one that I'm excited for though is the Castlevania Anniversary Collection.
Yeah.
Because it's got that Bloodlines, yo.
Yeah,
it's a sick lineup of all the early Castlevania games, pretty much. Yeah. Can't go wrong there. But we are kind of downplaying the elephant in the room of the biggest release that's coming up. On the 7th, we got the Xbox One S All Digital Edition, baby.
Hype. I'm going to sell my entire game collection and go digital.
Wow. What a putz.
No, I'm not. I'm not doing any of that.
Yeah. But yeah, not doing that either. Especially for the same price, I could have a fancy disc drive.
Yeah. I think I'd just pay the same price. Yeah, I'd rather pay the same price and get a disc drive than pay the same price and not get a disc drive.
Yeah, we don't need to go into that. It wasn't an argument. Neither of us were arguing that point. We were both we pretty much had each other's back on how pathetic that was. Like, not any inclination of why you would buy that as opposed to the other options.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it looks like that's about it.
Yeah. So then what you got going on in the next couple weeks?
Well, goddamn, probably beating some more arcade games.
Yeah.
It's just so easy. It's easy. It starts up faster than my PS4 or my Xbox, even if they're in rest mode, and I'm playing a game.
Nice.
So I might have to just push that to the side though, because I need to get through Trails of Cold Steel, because on the 28th, Trails of Cold Steel 2 is going to be in my mailbox. So nice. I need to buckle down and get more into that, especially when I've heard, it's a 100+ hour game, and I'm 12 hours into it. Looks like I'm not sleeping tonight. But yeah, that's a big chunk of what I'm going to be doing. I also recently got a Japan-only Yakuza game, which is like not set in like current day Japan as like all the other ones are. Current or like modern day Japan. This is kind of like I think it's about 100 years ago or something like that, or 100. I don't know the exact details on it, but it looks really interesting, and it's going to be the first game I ever have to follow like a translation thing. But I've looked some stuff up on it, and there's a pretty good spoiler-free thing where I can. Okay, what were they saying in that cutscene? Okay, cool.
Nice.
So basically, a bunch of people have recommended a couple things, so I want to try that out. I'm not gonna get right into it, but I want to try it out and just kind of see. Yeah, cool. It's my first game I'll ever attempt to play that's in a different language that I actually need to know what the hell's going on. Nice. So yeah, it's just something, I love my Yakuza games, and that's one more for the set. What do you got going on next little bit?
I'm not sure what I'm going to be playing after Days Gone. I don't know how long Days Gone is. But yeah, I'm not sure. I've kind of knocked out a bunch of stuff that I was planning on playing, and now I think I need to just try to tackle some more backlog stuff, maybe some retro, Who knows?
Yeah, when Days Gone, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. I'll figure it out, though.
Yeah,
You'll know next time what I decide to do.
Yeah, I think I might pack up the arcade stick for the most part and just kind of do that and kind of play a bit more of these VR games.
Yeah, I need to get back on to beating some VR stuff, especially with all that stuff I downloaded from your account.
Hells yeah.
Yeah.
We can maybe even get I might even get a PS Plus thing. We can play that Arizona Sunshine together. It's pretty fun, depending on how you think of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's lots to choose from there.
Yeah, for sure.
You-
So then I think with that said, I will let people know how they can get a hold of us. However you're listening to this, whether it be on YouTube, SoundCloud, podcast apps, or iTunes, we're available on all of those, the podcast anyways. For me, if you want to get a hold of me, I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, look me up, The Game Grinder, and you will find me. And Jason is on Facebook and Twitter now. So if you're not following him on Twitter, do that.
Hell yeah, get at it.
And of course, YouTube.
I'm actually pretty active on there now.
Yeah.
It's weird how like being on both. I thought I'd be like less on both, like kind of spread myself thin. But I find I'm actually like doing more on both now that I'm on both. So
yeah, Twitter it's different. It's different, and
it's taken a bit to kind of get used to it.
Like I still don't love it. I still prefer Facebook overall. Just its layout and like archival features and albums and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but Twitter's cool.
It's decent.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely look Jason up, Corpse Flood Gaming, and you will find him.
Find me for boring times.
Yes, sure. I guess.
Like I say, I'm on there. I like to interact with people, so it's good to have a new avenue to do that.
Yeah. Cool. So I think that's gonna do it for this episode of the Game Tenants Podcast.
Fuck yeah.
Yes. So hit us up with that community question. Let us know your thoughts.
And
maybe we'll talk to you next time.
Maybe.
I think we will. We'll talk to you next time.
Please, are you mad?
Have a good one.
Bye.